Hey guys, it's Chloe and today I am back with a brand new video. So today I'm here with a giant, huge collective book haul. There are all the books I acquired within the June-July time frame, and it's a lot. It is a total of 21 books, and it is partially Elizabeth from the Owlery's fault, but we'll talk about that later. I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I feel like this is gonna be a really long video. So the first book I have is The Inside of Out by Jen Marie Thorne. I picked this up when I went to B-Fest, and I actually went to see Elizabeth at her Barnes & Noble where this author was signing, so I wanted to pick up a copy of her new book, and she signed it. She signed it to Chloe, see you on YouTube, love Jen Marie Thorne, and she was the sweetest. Elizabeth and I talked to her for a little bit, and it was really, really nice, and I'm really excited to be reading this. It sounds very interesting, and I believe it is an LGBTQ novel as well, so that's very exciting. The next book I picked up from Books A Million at the bargain section, which is a horrible place for me to be, and it is Naomi and Eli's No Kiss List. I have watched this movie before, and I knew it was a book, but I have never read the book. I loved the movie. It has Matthew Daddario in it from Shadowhunters. He plays Alec, and he was amazing in this movie, so I'm really, really excited to be reading the book. I have never read a Rachel Kahn, David Levithan book before, so I'm very, very excited to be reading this book soon. And the next three books I have are three books from the Selection series. The first one that I have is The Elite, which is the second book in the Selection series, and this was actually sent to me by Elizabeth from the Owlery, and she got it for me as a graduation gift, and it was so nice of her, and I'm so excited to be reading this soon. I need to finish my current read, which is Carry On, before I can start this book, but I was obsessed with the Selection, so I'm really very excited to finally be reading this. And then I went and picked up the one, which is the third book, and I also picked up Happily Ever After, which is a giant bind up of all the ebook novellas, and I'm actually going to be reading them in publication order. So I know there is 2 short stories that come in between the Selection and the Elite, so I'm going to be reading those, and then I'm just going to read the short stories in between each book that they come from. I have been so obsessed with this series. I'm so ready, and oh, it's so good. I thought it was contemporary, but it's not. It's dystopian that reads like contemporary, and I am just so in love with it. Now, the rest of the books I have to show, I did not buy them. I actually got them from Elizabeth from the Owlery, and that is because she had a ton of books that she was getting rid of, and she was just like, hey, do you want this, do you want this, do you want this, when I was at her house and we were collabing. So the following books are presented to you by Elizabeth from the Owlery. So the first book I have is My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult, and this is another book where I have seen the movie and loved the movie, but I've never read the book. So hopefully, cross my fingers, I can read this soon because I really do love this movie. It's so good. It has Abigail Breslin and Cameron Diaz and other people that I don't remember, and it's such a good movie, which means it should hopefully be an even better book. The next book I have is The Devil Wears Prada, and this is by Lauren Weisberger, and this is yet again another book where I've seen the movie and I freaking love the movie, but I've never ever read the book before. And this movie has Anne Hathaway, who is a queen, and Meryl Streep, who is the even bigger queen in the movie, and I loved it. Such a good movie. I saw it years and years ago, and it's just so good. So hopefully the book is even better. The next book I have is My Heart and Other Black Holes by Jasmine Wanga. And I have no idea what this book is about. Elizabeth actually got this a year or 2 ago when she went to a signing, so this copy is actually signed. It's not personalized to her, but it says, "So nice to meet you, hope you enjoy," and then it's signed by her. I didn't meet her, but it's okay. And I'm so excited about this book. It has such a nice texture, and I'm not sure if Elizabeth actually read this book or not. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask her. This is also one of those books that was kind of hyped up in BookTube, so I did hear about it. I just had no idea what it's about, and I still have no idea what it's about. The next book I have is Love and Other Unknown Variables by Shannon Lee Alexander, and this is another book I have no idea what it's about, but I heard about it through BookTube. I'm assuming it's about love, and judging by the cover and the inside, math. I don't like math. But I'm really hoping this is a really cutesy, like, fun contemporary to read, and I adore this cover. It's gorgeous, beautiful, but I'm very excited to have this. Now the next 4 books I have are all by the same author, and they are books by Jennifer E. Smith. We have This Is What Happy Looks Like, which I haven't read yet, but I'm really excited. This is definitely by far one of her longer novels that I own. You Are Here, which I didn't even know she wrote, and it doesn't look like the other covers, which is sad because I love the other covers, but I'm assuming this is one of her like earlier novels, since I've never heard of this one by her. Then we have The Geography of You and Me, which, as you guys know, I have this in hardcover, but when Elizabeth was giving me all her Jennifer E. Smith books, because she wasn't the biggest fan of this one, she gave this one to me too, and now I have it to match the other ones in paperback, and then I have a hardcover copy, which I'm still gonna keep. And then The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight, which I recently read and loved. Next, I have an arc of Ensnared by A.G. Howard, and this is the second book in the Splintered series, which is an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and I've always wanted to read Splintered. I haven't yet, but now I have the second one, so I feel like I have a need to read the first one. And because I'm obsessed with all things Alice in Wonderland, and I'm also obsessed with retellings, I think this is a really good combination for me, an Alice in Wonderland retelling, so I'm really excited. And the next book I have is Nick and Norah's Infinite Playlist by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan, and this is to complete my collection written by those two authors together. I previously owned a hardcover of Dash and Lay's Book of Dares, which is on my shelf over there. I hauled earlier in this video Naomi and Eli's No Kiss List, and now here is Nick and Norah's Infinite Playlist. So I have all 3 books written by them, and I haven't read a single one of them, so hopefully I'm going to be reading them very soon. This is actually a really short book. It seems to only be like 180 pages, 183 pages, so this should be something I could probably finish in a day. Next is a book I've never heard of before, and it is an arc of 7 Ways We Lie by Riley Redgate, and this actually recently came out a few months ago. It says March 2016, yeah, so this came out in March. I've never heard of this book, but it's a contemporary, and oh wow, that's pretty. That's cool. I know nothing about this book. I know that this is a sticker, which I'm really questioning now, but I don't know. I like contemporaries. No idea what this is about. Works for me. That seems to be a continuing theme of this video. The book I have is an arc of Another Day by David Levithan, and this is the sequel to Every Day, and I read Every Day back in August for Once Upon a Read-Along, and this is not a direct sequel, which kind of bums me out because I want to know what happens, but this is more of the first book just told in a different perspective. So I'm excited because I like the character that's being told in perspective, which is Rhiannon, I think. So that's exciting, and I'm not sure how quick I'll get to this because like Every Day I enjoyed it, but I'm just kind of like about it, but I do definitely want to read this. And the next 2 books I have are The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan and The House of Hades by Rick Riordan. This is a brand new hardcover copy of this book, and this is a paperback copy, and this is the 1st and 4th book in the Heroes of Olympus series. And as you guys know, I finished reading the Percy Jackson series like early last year, and I wanted to take a break from that series for a little bit, but this series is now complete, so maybe I will get into this series because The Trials of Apollo came out recently, so a lot's going on in this world that I need to know about. The next book I have is Emerald Green by Kirsten Gier. This is actually an arc of the book. Now this book actually came out about 3 years ago, but Elizabeth had the arc and asked if I wanted it, and I said yes. If you guys have been following my channel for a while now, last year in January, the very first time we did Once Upon a Read-Along, we read Ruby Red for the book, and then the very next month I read Sapphire Blue on my own and loved it, and I love this trilogy so much that I'm very excited to be finishing it in this book that I can hopefully get to very soon. I'm really excited. I loved the first 2 books in this series. I'm going to need to brush up my memory on those books before I read this, but still very excited. And finally, the last book I have is Lux Beginnings by Jennifer L. Armentrout. You may be thinking that I already own a copy of this book, and that's true. I do already own a copy of this book, but it is signed, and when Elizabeth asked me if I wanted this, she knew that I already had a copy, but my copy was signed and I wanted a copy that I wanted to actually be able to read. So I have one to read and one to admire. And those are all the books that I am hauling in this video today. First of all, I'd like to thank Elizabeth from the Allery so much. She is the best book best friend a girl could ever have. I love her so much, and she is essentially what made this video happen. And that is all I have for this video today. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to take a behind the scenes look at my life, you can check out my second channel, Cloessence, and go subscribe to that. I do lots of vlogs, and I talk about things that I enjoy that aren't books. If you like what you see here, please go ahead and click subscribe. I post new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, so subscribe so you can be updated when I post those. So guys, that is all I have for this video today, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!